This is going to be one of those conversations that you're going to have to pause for. I mean, we're talking about child trafficking. We're talking about what that can do to your life. Somebody who is out here fighting the good fight to help kids. It is a great conversation. It's heavy. It's a lot of good things. There's laughter, but there's a lot of sad things as well. And I think Elizabeth Norton Gray is a name you're going to want to remember for a long time. Here we go.
Hey, it's Elizabeth, and I'm with Neena this week on Straight Talk with Neena. I'm looking forward to talking to you about what it's like to be relentless in your faith and relentless in your purpose. Specifically for me, I am an anti-child trafficking pundit, and I am excited to share my story with you, how that became so, and what I'm doing today to protect the children of the future.
What up, y'all? This is Neena Perez, and this is Straight Talk, no sugar added. Today I have someone I've been really wanting to talk to. I was on her podcast recently, and it was such a good time, right? We just realized, wow, we think a lot alike. That's kind of cool. Her name is Elizabeth Norton Gray. She's a wife, a mother, an author. She's the host of an inspiring podcast called Fermenting. God's not done with me yet. Okay. And as a marketing director of her family's bakery, Elizabeth's known that bread isn't just about food, but it's a metaphor for hope and patience and transformation. And you guys know that I'm a chef and I feel the same way. It's about, to me, faith, food, community, the whole thing, right? So from fostering 23 children to surviving illness and now pursuing a law degree to fight for justice, Elizabeth's life is proof that even in the face of evil, light is louder. Okay. So like dough rising in the dark, God is always working, even when we really can't see it. Right. And it's the same thing with the bread. Sometimes you can't see it, especially in the beginning when you're being impatient, but if you give it time, you will see it. Right. So I want to welcome her to the show. So I want you guys to give her a really warm welcome because she is amazing. Here she is. Oh my.
Wow, that was quite the intro there, Neena. Thank you so much for that.
I'm
I
so glad you're here.
I think you and I have chemistry. That's what it is. I
Mm-hmm,
could talk to you
mm-hmm.
for hours.
Yeah.
We
We
won't do that
almost
to your listeners, though.
we almost did the first time, right?
Yes,
We
yes.
speaking and talking.
We've
I'm like,
got
are
important things to
we still on the
say.
podcast? Because we're just we're just talking for like an hour. It's
Yes.
so fun. It's really good to have you here, Elizabeth. And I know that I wanted you to share a little bit about your story because I know that it bridges a lot about faith and family and justice, right? And I mean, that's fascinating that you have fostered 23 children. Like me and my husband often think about that, if we wanted to get into fostering children because we feel like we can give a lot back. So tell me a little bit about you. Who are you, Elizabeth? Like, who are you?
Sure. So I was raised in the Bible. My parents gave me really strong roots, and roots are good.
Mm,
I am so thankful for that. It definitely has, my faith has guided me throughout life. Sometimes there was a few times there where I walked away from my faith thinking, what? But I eventually always found myself back in the word, back with a relationship with Jesus, just loving the consistency of him always being there for me. So many times in life, humans had failed me, or I had even made mistakes and failed myself.
hmm.
So, because of that, I'm just eternally grateful for the overwhelming presence that God has with me. I can't imagine a world without my faith.
I know. Me too. And I think faith is a really important aspect to a lot of people's lives, right? But you've also from what I've known and what we've spoken about, and even reading in your bio, it seems like you are definitely someone who has tried to live out that faith, right? Especially when it comes to justice. And I just wanted to know, when did God start stirring you about children? Because you went from fostering children, you talk about child trafficking, there's a lot of deep things I want to get into with you. So I'm just wondering, when did this stirring start
So,
happening in your heart?
to be totally honest with you, it started in 1991. I had a situation that involved Child Protective Services, and I had to advocate for myself during that session. My parents
Mm,
loved me, and it was not really a situation where I was and my life was threatened, but it was a situation that needed to be addressed. So it was addressed. But through that process, when I was in fifth grade in 1991, I learned what the foster system was. And
Mm.
I always wanted to grow up and be a mom. I saw my mom. She had 4 kids. I was the oldest of 4. So I watched her take care of my siblings often. And I just knew that that was what my future had for me. And even as a high school graduate, that was what I wanted to grow up to be. I wanted to grow up to be a mom of many. And that's actually what my first blog was called, Elizabeth Norton. Actually, I used a different pen name at that time, but my blog was called A Mom to Many. So I would talk, and I had one child, and he was born not well. He was in the NICU
Mm.
in and out of the NICU for about a year. And I kind of got scared to get pregnant again. And
Yeah.
it took me a really long time to come around with that. But in the process, I was like, let's try fostering and adopting through the fostering system. And through that time, there's a total of 3 years. I had 23 kids come and go from my life,
Wow.
but never leave my heart. I love them all deeply. Some of them I run to in the center of town. I sometimes write them letters on social media. I call them each out by their number, and some of them that have connected with me know which number they are. So they know exactly who I'm talking to when I'm like, hey, you better be attending class number 12.
Right, right,
um,
right. Oh my gosh. Oh
so
my
mothers are
gosh.
always going to be momming.
Right. That
Yeah.
must have been,
So,
was that hard? Was that hard to get into fostering and then to kind of like have the kids go? Was that difficult for you?
yeah. So I think because I had my oldest, it was good for me to have that time when they would leave to remember how God made my family and how He
Yeah.
intended it. And that I was only a temporary mom to those kids that were walking in my door. Yes, it was very hard. In fact, my door was rotating at such a rapid pace that I wasn't really mourning the loss. And
Mm.
a couple years later, I definitely felt that all coming down on me at once. It was a couple years before COVID, and I wasn't feeling well. And on top of it, I just was missing. I just feel so called to advocate for children. So I had what is called empty room syndrome.
Mm.
It's basically when a foster mom is missing her foster child. And, it's also known to others as empty nesting. But for a foster mom, it's when you have a foster kid, you love them, and then they are returned to their
Mm.
parents who hopefully are treating them well and they should be with. But it is the pain that goes through
Yeah.
that the foster
Yeah.
parent goes through.
Yeah, and I could see that, right? Because when me and my husband talk about it, I think that's what hurts me the most is already thinking how I would have to give them back.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I mean, it's just it has to be the most painful thing, especially when you love children and you've like, you fostered 23 of these beautiful babies, right? And I'm sure you've learned a lot about resilience and loss and what does it mean to have unconditional love. And so I want to touch on, if you're open to the topic that I feel is unbelievable. Not many people get into, which is child trafficking,
Yeah.
right? I'm sure that this can be heavy and overwhelming. Like, how do you first of all, let's talk about how do you get involved in this? Like, how are you advocating for this? What is it that you are feeling led to do in child trafficking? Because I want to talk to you about how you're holding your hope in the midst of it.
Yes. So, just like fostering, when you return those children, and this does make it easier as a Christian, when you're returning that child, you have to believe that God has them in the palm of his hand. And
Mm.
that is kind of just for you and your husband. There's the comfort right there that you know that God loves them. God has a purpose for them, an individual purpose that unfortunately is separate from you, but a purpose nonetheless. And he's got them. He's got them.
Mhm.
And no matter what, no matter how much pain you go through, I know I'm jumping back, but no
It's
matter how
fine.
much pain you go through, know that love is never wasted on anyone. So if you
Wow.
truly love that person, it's never wasted. It is always a value to a human to have love, even as an infant, just
Yeah.
being affectionate. But as far as child trafficking, I unfortunately saw a ring operating in 2009. I also, during that time, was a fairly successful mom blogger. I worked with many corporations, small businesses. I was flying all over the United States, speaking about reaching moms through marketing. And I was talking about what I was doing in my own life. I was really looking in the social good niche market. So I worked for a nonprofit that worked with Walmart for a little while. So I was flying back and forth to Arkansas. My blog was my voice and my platform. And how often do you see something and recognize it and have a voice that is powerful enough to make waves in the corrupt world? So I decided to continue to be a whistleblower and a witness. And I went through the steps, and I was involved in some politics for a short time. And I definitely went through a process of having to stay silent. But then as soon as my term was up, I knew that God had put those children in my line of vision for a reason, not once, but 3 times. And I had seen around 50 kids. So going through all of that, as soon as my term was up, as soon as I got some things in order, I knew it was time to use all of my voice, all of my platform online, my social media accounts to raise awareness to this issue. Because really, America, this is not abnormal in America. When I saw it in 27,
I know, unfortunately.
Yeah, when I saw it in 27, I thought, never, this would never happen. This is so rare. I have to stop it right now. It's going to be so easy, by the way.
Girl. I mean, I'm sure that it not only was not easy, but I'm sure that it cost you everything.
Yeah.
Right? Because when you open up your voice and you're a whistleblower and you're trying to help, especially something like this, like child trafficking. I worked with a nonprofit who did a lot of work in this, and you lose, especially you were a mom blogger, right? So I can imagine that you lost your sponsors, your
I did.
money, I can
I did.
imagine.
And I
I can
actually
imagine.
also lost both of my Meta platforms. Meta came after
Wow.
me in full force, told me I wasn't following community standards. I could not file an appeal. It was pretty awful until this day. I cannot participate in Meta activities as Elizabeth Norton Gray. It just will not work because
Wow.
as soon as my profile goes up, it doesn't take more than
It's
2 weeks for it to go back down.
Yeah, that is disgusting. That is
Yeah.
disgusting because when somebody's talking about something that is even like referring to something about helping children or something, that should not be a flag. The flag should be the porn that you have on there and the stuff that's coming out now that I'm looking at going, how is that a cartoon? That is not for kids. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
That kind of stuff not getting flagged.
I have been
It's
doing
like,
some research, and I have been in talks with other people that have stories like me, but they aren't able to say anything. And I warn them, you will
mhm.
lose all those memories that you've put on Facebook. You do not own them.
No,
They
you don't
they
own
belong
anything.
to Facebook as
That's
soon as
correct.
you upload them. So make sure you know what you're posting of your children, know what storytelling you're telling of yourself. I mean, I'm a big storyteller. I'm an open book, and I do that with a risk. But those things are important because when the social media revolution happened around the 2009 era, I was so excited because traditional media was corrupt.
Yeah.
Well, I think you can see in my situation that it's not just traditional media. It's
Yeah.
new media too. I mean, it's
Yeah.
been around for a couple of years, but we're still figuring out how to do life with this.
Yeah.
And it's a big corporate company. So they don't know really who Elizabeth Norton Gray is from Woodbine.
Yeah.
So all these things are just so concerning, so concerning. And you realize that not everyone is a child advocate, even if they're saying
Mm.
they are pro life, even if they're saying, this is important. I'm a Christian. But when it comes down to it, the corruption is so thick
Yeah.
that what is a person to do? And I just happened to be a influential mom blogger in a small town that had a voice, that served her community on a political board and exposed and told the story of all the issues that are going on at that place of, you know, business. So I'm just really, really, really hopeful. And like you said, in the beginning, I find hope in my kitchen. every time I make a batch of bread, I know that the yeast is working to rise the bread, even though I cannot see it.
Yeah.
And when I think about what's happening 2 miles from my house, I think God is working, even though I can't see it.
Yeah.
And sometimes I can see it, but other times it's very hard to stay
Yeah.
full, very hard because it's been years. I've been working on this since 2009. An investigation officially started in 2014 in April that year. And my last actual meeting on my part to take this down was 2015. The plan for
Mm.
me to run for office was 2018. So it's been a long time. I don't know.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
don't know if what I saw is still in operation because I do not visit that school anymore. Thank God for school choice, especially in New Jersey. But I do know that even though on the days that I can't see them, the days that I'm feeling lost and I just want to hold each one of those children, that God's got them.
Yeah. And I mean, and he does, right? And he does. And this world is just so dark and cruel. And it's kind of like mind boggling, isn't it? Like when you start looking at the things happening in the world or what you've witnessed and saw yourself, like it's absolutely mind boggling that that's even happening. So where did your boldness come from? Because what you're doing, right? And
Yeah.
I mean, when you're saying, like, I was quiet for a while or people get quiet, it is scary. It is.
Yeah.
You can lose everything. You literally can, and you probably have experienced losing so much, right?
Well,
So
not
where's
it wasn't just me losing. I actually had been put on a psychiatric hold.
oh okay, so now they trying to play that. Okay, so
Yeah.
now not
And
yes,
my
yes.
husband couldn't get me out and he was on the phone with everyone from that office, you know,
Well,
and
because you're speaking truth, and
yeah,
that's a
yeah.
very
And
dangerous
it was
thing.
very much like take down your blog, take down
Right,
that post, do not make that video. You need to be quiet. I
right.
would I would post something on Facebook and 15 minutes later the police would be at my door. I am not
Mhm.
kidding. The police were there one day at least 3 times. And it was
Dang.
because of the conversations that I was invoking within my community, within groups on Facebook, all of that stuff. They just really,
Little
really
Elizabeth Norton Gray. Who is she hurting in her little community? Come on, y'all.
yeah, and people and this is the thing, people say crazy stuff on the internet all the time.
I know.
So
Wild things, like wild.
right, and
Even inciting violence against others, murder against others, and all of that. I see it all the time. None of it gets taken down. It's like, okay, so how does someone, if you can speak to it, because I have a pretty good audience and following, and if you can speak to these people,
the corrupt individuals
no,
or
no, no. The people listening, right? Like, how does somebody even get involved into helping or learning more about this, right? Because, to your point, I think most of us, especially people of faith, because I've noticed this more with people of faith, we are very quiet. And that is why the loony bins are running the asylum,
asylum.
right?
Yes.
Because as Christians we're staying quiet. Meanwhile, Elizabeth, I was just reading something the other day that actually broke my soul, because in Nigeria they're killing
Yes.
hundreds of thousands of
Of
Christians,
Christians. Yep.
and I haven't heard a Christian say a peep about it.
It's weird how that is, right?
Very much so.
Yeah.
So how do, as Christians or as people of faith or people who just want to do good in the world, or I mean, how do you do this? Like, how do you find out more about child trafficking? How do you get involved? What do you do? Right? Because I think
Yeah.
most of us are just on the lost sauce train.
I get asked this a lot. So there's a couple nonprofits, and I actually have a link on my website, elizabethnorton.com, that goes over my views on each one of those nonprofits.
Okay.
You can buy some bread from my bakery stand. That would help me fight.
That's
um,
awesome.
you can also listen to my podcast and just support me as I'm on this journey. There's also a blog post on my website about ways to spot a child trafficking ring or a
You
gang
give a lot of
situation.
info. That's
Yes.
amazing.
So I invite anyone to go to learn more. I mean, and this is the thing. you really have to open your eyes and think critically. So if you see someone that is in charge of children, or see someone
Mhm,
that you
mhm,
suspect and you feel
mhm.
in your gut just seems a little off, or you've heard reputations about a certain area, just keep your eyes open. I was just flabbergasted when I saw what I saw. And when I finally told the people that needed to get told, and basically using my online influence, I jumped over the most guilty parties and the corruption in this and just went right straight to the federal authorities. And that's who's started the investigation in April of 2014. I don't know. I mean, there's trafficking tip lines you can take. There's the missing exploited children number as well. But as far as getting through the corruption, we're
Hmm.
all in this together. I
Mhm.
don't have any answers with you. I haven't been in my political seat since COVID.
Wow.
And I'm still dealing with emails,
Oh
uh,
my gosh.
permits. It has affected my life, and I will
I'm
always
sure. I'm
be
sure.
advocating for the children I saw. I will never, ever, ever give up. One of my verses that is my life's verse is Proverbs 31:8-9. Do you know this one?
No, go for it.
Speak up for those who cannot speak for
Oh yeah.
themselves, for the rights of all who are destitute. Speak up and judge fairly. Defend the rights of the poor and the needy.
Oh my God.
I love that verse so much, and it like calls to me. It's like my purpose, and I
Yeah.
feel it in my bones. I feel it in my bones. I have a heart for children who are struggling,
Yeah.
and for some reason, in multiple instances, can now spot some inaccuracies in care. I can spot, and sometimes I can spot it way before other people can spot it. Uh,
It's your gift.
is it a gift?
I think so, right? Because who else would?
It's also hard because
Yeah.
I see things and I can't do them. I mean, the government really hurt me. And
Yeah.
I went from having 23 foster kids and my own 3 children to, at one point in the battle against the trafficking ring, I actually lost custody of my 3 children. Now, my husband remained in custody. It was just for me. And lots from that area, a timeline of my life, I do not understand.
Right.
So crooked. So
Because
crooked.
because there is no understanding in that, right? Like if you're
Mm,
fighting against good, there's going to be no understanding in what's being done against you because it
yeah.
doesn't make sense, right? Because when you're doing something good and something evil is coming against you, it's not going to make sense, right? Like, do
Yeah.
you ever look at the world and go, that makes zero sense?
Oh,
You know?
often.
Yeah,
Every
exactly.
day.
And so that's why it makes zero sense because it is not a good thing. Right.
No.
So it has to be chaos. It has to be confusing. It has to be horrific. It has to be all the things because it can't be the good thing because that makes sense.
Right.
Right. And so
Right.
what do you want to do, Elizabeth? Like what is the goal? Right. You say this is my purpose.
So, as of now, I'm in law school. I'm a student
Good.
at Regent University, and I am studying and working my way towards my JD. However, unfortunately, as if the investigation is no longer in operation, which I don't know if it is or it isn't, I believe it still is. I intend to 100% become the person I needed when there was a target on my back. And therefore, the next person who was put in an impossible situation and had to do what they had to do and are speaking up against this, have someone backing them up, because I could not find a lawyer to represent me
Right.
at
Oh
all.
man,
People would
that's so
hear,
good.
lawyers would hear my town name and not be interested in anything, the story, the situation, nothing. They would, and at one point, a lawyer that's on one of the shore towns, because I live in like a resorted area, said, not one lawyer will ever touch this case. And I said, hold my cup of ginger ale. Because I'm coming. I am coming. I will be that one person.
Dang,
I will be
girl.
that one person.
I'm so proud of you. I'm really proud of you. I'm proud of you because as a human, like to just like truly step out there and do your thing, knowing the cost and doing it anyway, it makes me so proud of people like you, right? People that are willing to take the life that God has given them and actually do what it is God has put you here to do. I just kept hearing, well done, good and faithful servant. Well done, good and faithful servant.
Well, I'm not done yet.
No, I
So
know, but I'm saying like I really truly believe just in this conversation we're having that that's what you can expect, you know?
I definitely, I aim to be that servant. It just, I don't know. You can, I don't even know what I'm trying to say. So edit this all
Yeah.
out. I don't even know what I was going to say.
Yeah, listen, the truth is listen, we have to do our darndest to try to follow God as best we can and then do the best we can with what we have,
Right.
right?
This is what
Yeah.
I was going to say.
Mhm.
Got it. All right. So I don't think I'm that awesome. People tell me I'm awesome all the time and how well I've done. I feel like if I was awesome, it would have closed by now.
I'm actually glad that you don't think you're awesome because then your ego's out of the way. And I think that that's
No ego
needed,
here.
right? That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Like if everybody keeps telling you you're awesome and then you think you're awesome, you'll stop fighting.
I
And
honest
I
I
don't think,
honestly
yeah,
hope it's not that I'm awesome and that I was put in a predicament and I made the wise choice.
yeah.
And when I walked through the ring, which I did 2 weeks before my last board meeting, I walked actually through it and was
Mm,
offered to buy another child and all this stuff. When I walked through it, I kept saying, make wise choices, make wise choices.
yeah.
And I was told it will come back unfounded. And I was like, well, I'm not going to that police. So make wise choices.
Yeah, yeah.
And I just tell everyone that. I tell my foster kids that. I tell my own kids that. I'll tell you, Neena, make sure you're making wise choices. I think that what I did was just make a wise choice and that my roots that were so formed biblically growing up held my moral compass
Yeah.
so tight
Yeah.
that it is not up for debate what is acceptable with me when it comes to a child's well-being.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
I know exactly what is acceptable and what is not. Am I a perfect mom? No. There is some things in that DIFUS report that my kids said about me because they were telling the truth. I am not perfect,
Right.
but I'm not life endangering. And there is a difference between, like life and there is a difference between, making mistakes and intentionally allowing or permitting or taking part of the sale of a child.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh, I just think about all the little ones, right? Because if there wasn't people like you out there fighting, all of us would just keep continuing to go on in our life, working and then coming home and doing the normal, like not paying attention things. And it takes people like you to throw cold water in our face and say, wake up, you're not looking. When I heard the statistics of like the last 4 years or whatever it is that 300,000 plus kids were missing,
Yeah.
my heart was just so freaking broken. I'm like, dang, where are they? You know what I'm saying? Like, where are they? And it just breaks your heart. Like, you just don't know where to start or what to do. And we've often, me and my husband have given money to like different organizations that go and help, rescue children and child trafficking and the whole thing. And the nonprofit that I used to be in that used to do a lot of that kind of work and all of that. And these conversations, Elizabeth, are not had enough. At least I don't think so. I haven't
No, I
seen
agree.
them. Yeah.
I agree.
And I think it's because of what you said. Like as soon as you do speak it, cancel, turn off. Oh, nope,
Yeah.
can't talk about that.
Throw
Like,
her in the loony bin.
yeah,
Take
exactly.
away the
My God,
sick children.
that must have been the most hardest thing, Elizabeth. And I can imagine, I don't know if this is true for you, but I can imagine that you were thinking, is this worth it? Did that ever happen to you? Like, is this freaking worth it? Or is this too big? I just
So
can't.
I haven't thought that until recently
Okay.
because as my children have been growing up, I've seen that decision that I made when I was 27 affect them in ways that I didn't think ahead for. And as
Right.
a mother, I love all children. And how can you pick one life over another? But I know that they're my blood.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm aware of that. And it's hard. It definitely, my oldest child, it changed our relationship. It
Mm,
was hard for him because he was in high school at the time that I was making the most noise.
mm-hmm.
And now as my middle kid is growing up as well, it has affected him as well.
Mm-hmm.
Those
Mm-hmm.
times where, I mean, the police showing up for your mom like every 3 hours, like
Yeah. That's
that's
just
not a normal
crazy.
memory experience,
Yeah. Yeah.
And also the whole premise of the investigation is that everyone would say I was crazy and that I was seeing things and that I was schizophrenic.
Wow.
And that was the plan because I'm just a whistleblower and a volunteer.
Yep.
I'm just a witness.
Mm-hmm.
So, now things have settled down and I'm just looking at my children. And I was
Yeah.
okay with being the town crazy person.
Yeah.
That doesn't affect me. If
Right.
you want to call me crazy, go ahead. That's
Yeah.
fine.
Right.
However, it absolutely, in every way, breaks my heart to be the mom of my children and that person be crazy. Like,
Right. Right.
so
Mm-hmm.
so Zoe's mom, I I don't want to be known as the crazy mom.
Mm-hmm.
My son's mom.
No, I see. Yeah, I see what you mean. Especially when you said you didn't think ahead about how that would
I
affect it.
didn't,
I
because when that
totally,
was
I
happening,
get that. I
I
get
didn't
that.
even have a daughter yet when all those decisions were made. She
Mm-hmm.
wasn't even a thought. Like, she was a hope. I prayed
Right.
for that daughter, but she wasn't here. And my
Mm-hmm.
kids were 5 and like a baby.
Mm-hmm.
And of course they're going to believe their mom. They're not going to question her sanity. They're going to know that
Right.
she's making the right choice and that she
Mm-hmm.
loves children. And I just think that those high school years, especially for my oldest, were extremely hard. And I can't change that. I
Right.
can't take that back. And I had people messaging me, "You are a terrible mother. I feel so bad for your kids." And I still talk to them through my Facebook page. Like, just because I advocate for children doesn't mean I can't advocate for my own or take care of them or feed them or
It's ridiculous.
clean up after them. Like, I'm still here.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not physically out searching for these children.
Yeah.
I was told where they would be and that I'm trying to have rest and faith that they are where I was told they would be. So everything's handled. Everyone just needs to
Right.
calm down. I'm doing my job. God gave me this job. God gave me this purpose. God also gave me a tremendous husband with those 3 kids.
Yeah. 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 And God will also give them the understanding too. You know what I mean? Like there'll be reconciliation or understanding what it is mom is doing.
I think
Right.
I think that as they get older
Yeah.
and
That's what I mean. As they get
and
older.
they experience their own corruption.
Right. Yeah, and
They
then
will
when
be
they
like,
start to see the truth, right?
mhm,
Because when we're young, we kind of believe our peers and we kind of believe, the teachers and we kind of believe
right,
the things around us. And our parents are like boring and they always, they're just we're annoying to them when they're young. But there is a time that comes and they get older and they start to go, hold on a second. You know what I'm saying? Like, my mom talked to me about this. Wait a minute, And I think that is when you'll see the shift and the change. God does not leave you nor abandon you ever,
right.
right?
Amen to that.
And so you know that He's with you
Yeah.
no matter how hard this is.
Well,
Yeah,
I have a great relationship with all my children. I
good.
just want it the best it possibly
Yeah,
could
yeah, yeah.
be.
Of course, yeah. But you know what? It is what it is, right? I mean, it literally just is what it is. And so you just now, really focus on what that means. What does it look like today
Right.
when it talks about that? Because we're not promised tomorrow and yesterday's
No,
already done. So
right.
you might as well enjoy the present, right? And I had the same thing with one of my kids where we had this really like very contentious relationship. And I think we're getting to the round of it now. Like we're turning a corner.
How old was that around?
Oh, it was like 15, 14, 15, 16, but it lasted for a long time. It lasted
Yeah.
until like maybe early mid 20s, and he's now in his 30s, and he's 31, and we're now getting to the place where we're okay, let's sit down and have a truthful, honest conversation about what's happening here. I feel this tension and I don't like it, but But we've also we've gone through a lot of yelling matches and fighting matches and things like that because of a lot of lies and deceivement and stuff that's happened in my previous marriage. And but I say all that to say I always lean on God for these things. I am so on God about this, because I'm like, God, you love them before I even love them. So help me
It's true.
understand how to do this,
Yeah.
but I'm super grateful for the work you're doing in the world, girl, because this is not, I mean, it's just not something that I meet a lot of people doing,
No,
Elizabeth,
I'm weird.
right?
I'm weird.
Weird in the most phenomenal way ever, honestly. I think of all those little babies out there. So I think you are
I held I
absolutely doing your
actually
thing.
I actually held one. There was
Oh,
one that had a name. Her name was Zulea, and she had just learned to walk. And I held her, and I told all the adults in the room to be quiet because I was paying attention to her. So
so
I hope
good.
and I pray, and I would love for all of your listeners to pray with me that one day I get to see Zulay again and I get to tell her how much I love her. And hopefully I won't scare her when I tell her that.
Yeah.
But I pray for that moment every single day, multiple times a day.
Yeah.
That would be one of the best days of my life, the day that I get to see her again. And I really have faith in this current moment. It's touch and go sometimes, but
Yeah.
I have faith in this current moment that that will eventually happen. And I just need to be patient. So
Oh
I'm
my
waiting
gosh.
for God to do his thing and make the rise happen.
I love that so much. I love everything you're doing. I really am going to be praying over you and your schooling and your
Oh, yeah,
family.
definitely pray about it.
Yeah, and your family and all the work you're doing moving forward because we need people like you in the world, honestly. And the fact that you said, "Oh, wait, hold up, hold my ginger ale. You trying to tell me there's doing this thing is not something everyone does, Elizabeth. I mean, a lot of us talk the talk, but we don't do it,
Yeah.
And you're just like, "Nope, here you go, hold my ginger ale. I'm going." And I'm super proud. I just can't tell you how proud I am of you. I
Aw.
really and I'm super grateful that we met.
Yeah,
And
me too.
yeah, I'm super grateful. So
Uh,
I want you to give us now again, because I know you said it was elizabethnorton.com, correct?
yes.
And that's where we can find resources and stuff. Can they ask you questions and stuff on there as
Yes.
well?
And actually, you can follow me on Elizabeth Norton Gray on Facebook. I have a business page that I'm not administrator of. There is TikTok that I am involved with, and I share with my daughter as I'm monitoring everything she watches.
Good.
And then I also am Elizabeth Norton Gray on Threads and Instagram. And then I'm Elizabeth Norton on X, which X is my favorite platform. So
Okay. Okay.
yeah, I've got
Good.
a big following there and I've got lots of support there. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I love that. And thank you for sharing your favorite scripture and all of your wisdom. I mean, I hope to have you on again. I hope when you become a lawyer, you'll come back on to
It will
talk to those women that are like you
let's
right now.
can we have a virtual graduation party?
Yeah?
Yeah. Will
Yeah?
you we'll do a toast to
Yeah.
all the kids that we're gonna help.
100%. I would love to do that. And I just keep thinking, like, when you become a lawyer, how much I want to spread that word, because there's women like you out there. There's a lot of people out there, men and women, that are like you, that want to do something but don't know where or how, or don't have the support system. So, there's people like you that are freaking needed. Right.
Well,
And so I'm excited for what that looks like and what that means and how God is using you. It's just unbelievably phenomenal. So where's your bread stand, by the way?
oh, it's right out in front of my house. It's just a little
Oh, I
really
love that.
rinky dinky thing, but every loaf of bread goes towards my tuition.
Do you do
So
sourdough
I
stuff
do
or
sourdough. Tomorrow we're probably going to make some pretzels, soft
okay.
pretzels. Got a little,
And no classes, huh? You don't teach sourdough making?
I could. I've been thinking about it, but I mean, right now I am buried in legal ethics. And the problem
Oh,
with me with
legal ethics. Blech.
I actually enjoy it, actually. But the problem with me is as I'm reading through the rules of conduct for a lawyer, I'm like, oh, this applies to this case. Okay. And then I'll
Oh,
read a
I
little bit more
love
and I'll be like,
that.
oh, this applies to that case. I need to write an email right now. So getting my homework done takes a long time.
I love that though. Oh,
So
good for
you can
you.
pray that I
I love
stay
it.
focused.
Yes, I will. I will pray for that. And when you got that all handled, if you do have a class where you're teaching it, I am in.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're
Yeah,
going to
I'm in.
travel to New Jersey.
Yeah, yeah, Jersey or virtual or
Virtual.
whatever, because I've been wanting to learn how to make sourdough. I'm
You
a
wait, you
chef,
don't know how to
but
do that?
I'm
Wait,
a
we talked
chef and
about
I
this
make
on my episode.
yeah, I'm a chef and I make me like easy breads and stuff like that, but I've not gotten into sourdough yet.
Oh my gosh, it's so fun. It's like having your another little
I
child.
know, I want to do
I
it.
have my starter sitting on my table. Her name is Jane Doe. And I tie a ribbon. I tie a ribbon around her and I take her on vacation.
Oh my gosh. Seriously?
Yes. Yes. And actually,
Oh my
you want to know
gosh.
something really cool? I don't know if I told you this or not, but I took my starter down to Regent before I signed on the dotted line. And right in front of the sign, there's a picture of me holding my starter in front of the Regent school sign.
Oh,
And I just love Regent University, not around bill time, but for the normal
yeah,
time. I love them.
that's fair. That's fair.
But I mean, we prayed over my starter. So,
I love
and now I have the Fermenting God's Not Done With You podcast, and our stand is so busy, and we're so thankful for every person that stops by
I
and
love that
buys
so
a
much.
loaf.
Good. Good. Okay. Well, I should be traveling to New Jersey actually in a few months.
Oh, yeah, you did
So
tell me that.
yeah, yeah. So if I am no, and I don't know where in Jersey you live, but wherever, I'll try to get in contact with you. Maybe I can give you a big hug.
That would
I'd
be
love to meet
awesome.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you'd have to come down, but we could do a live broadcast of you learning
Oh,
to make
okay.
sourdough.
Yes,
It would
that
be
would be
fun.
fun, and it would be part of the purpose-filled kitchen, which is something I'm doing next,
Yeah.
so yes. Oh, I love you so much.
All
Alright,
right.
girl, thank you
Talk to
for
you
being on this
later.
show, I really appreciate
Thank
you.
you.
Guys, I know, right? It was a heavy topic, good topic, faith topic, like all the things. I want you to make sure that you follow Elizabeth Norton Gray. I am going to list all of her information below because I want you to follow her on all the platforms. I mean, she's really doing the thing that most of us think we want to do, but never do. And these are like the rare gems of people that you get to meet throughout your lifetime that are actually doing what they say they're going to do and putting their life out there to do it. Most of us really are conserving our lives and not wanting to rattle any feathers, and this woman is plucking them. She's plucking the feathers. So guys, I love you so much. This is Neena Perez, straight talk, no sugar added. Pluck them feathers, girl. Until next time.